All right, my TED Talk is about creating a clean and safe workplace in industrial manufacturing facilities. So a lot of things that are overlooked is the air quality. After all these big companies buy these machines and all these equipment to make, wooden cabinets or automobiles or any of these items that we all buy and use every day. A lot of things are overlooked as far as the air quality inside the workplace and the facility and the contaminants that can affect a worker's body. So I'd like to focus on what are these contaminants and how can they be cleaned to where the workers will not develop cancers and other breathing problems later on in the future. So we identify the hazard, see what the fume, dust, or mist is, and then we would find a system that could clean the air, filter it, and return it back into the workplace to where the whole building isn't full of a smoke or a dust that can be dangerous. So an example of a place like this would be a woodworking facility that makes cabinets. So first you have a sawdust, which is like a piece of plywood. So these saws are cutting this plywood and then they're routing it on a CNC router, and all this sawdust is going everywhere. So what do you do with this dust? You have to pick it up because it could be a fire hazard. Number one, you're cutting it with a hot blade. You're storing this dust, and a lot of things could be very hazardous at that point. So the best and economical solution for that is to have a big vacuum system, right? To suck it up rather than blow it away with an air compressor and just put it in the air and just put it outside. So containment of the dust. So you want to build a vacuum system that you can safely suck up the dust, and it has a filter inside of it that filters the air, that then drops out the particles into a trash can, which then can later be recycled and make, pucks out of it to where you can burn in your chimney, for example, or have pucks that you can have on your fireplace. So those are some examples of what you can do with your dust and how to get it contained and to where it's usable again. So a lot of things that people overlook are the hazards of the dust and how explosive or flammable this dust could be. So you want to have these special explosion isolation and fire suppression equipment built in on your equipment and in the air. So the authorities having jurisdiction for this would be OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety Hazard Association, and that's here in America. Those are the ones that tell you as a business what you need to have and what you need to have to comply to have your workers employed there. So one would be having a system that cleans the air and also lowers your carbon footprint so that the workers will not be in hazard or in great danger of coming to work every day. There's no fire, there's no inhalation regards for them to worry about, and that everyone can go home safe. So those are some information about creating a healthy and clean workplace for industrial factories. I'm going to drop our Instagram handle in the chat, so you can check out some systems that we design and install on a regular basis that can show you an example of what these systems look like and how big they are to handle this much dust. We're talking large amounts of sawdust, large amounts of paper, all types of contaminants and pollutants that could, really be a big hindrance in a facility if these systems were not in place. So that is our TED Talk for the day. And let me know if you have any more questions about how to clean the factory air.
Yay, thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll read this comment. I love that Daryl's TED talk came after Laura's breath work. We got to keep our air clean and breathe more. That's perfect. Good coordination. Cool. Okay. Thank you all for your TED Talks. It's really lovely to keep hearing this more stuff that we get to know about you. Daryl, so is this like you own a company that creates this equipment? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Well, they don't make the equipment, but I'm a I'm an industrial ventilation specialist. So I would get called in by these big companies, no matter it be an automotive company or a big wood shop, and they would call me in to identify this dust problem or this fume or this smoke that's present in the air. And it's up to me to identify how to clean that air to make it to where it complies to OSHA regulations. So without them complying to OSHA regulations, they'll have complaints and they'll have fines. And so I'm basically their friend to help them get out of trouble after they get a violation.
So you're like literally making the earth a better place.
Yes. Not only the earth, but also inside these factories. So rather than it being a terrible air quality inside the building, it's also filtering it and putting it outside so that the company can be ISO certified and also show that they, dispose of their waste properly.
Awesome.